So here's my daily log of working from home because of the coronavirus and just all the other impact stuff. Here's a view of the toilet paper aisle at the local grocery store. Luckily, thanks to not having set up my Amazon subscribe and save deliveries appropriately, I ended up with way too much toilet paper like a year ago, which is paying off now. Hey, it's Craig here. I thought I'd start this video blog here, and this is my third day of working from home. This coronavirus stuff, COVID-19, is nuts. So I'd actually seen something on, I think it was on Facebook somewhere about them interviewing people from Italy, like, hey, what would you have done 10 days ago? And I thought that was really interesting, if you could send a message to yourself 10 days ago. So it just got me thinking about as late as Thursday last week, I had actually looked at a Facebook post and I was kind of like, all right, how serious is this outbreak? And I wasn't on the fence that, oh, geez, like Donald Trump was saying, oh, geez, it's a hoax and just, it's all fostered by the media. I still see some people still saying that, which is crazy. But I was like, all right, I'm not ready to get in a bubble yet. I was somewhere in between. But it's amazing how quickly things have progressed to now where working from home, everything's been canceled. As late as last Thursday, I was like, all right, I was supposed to be going to a concert on Friday night down in Woodstock. It was small. I was like, all right, my buddy TJ was going to come out. We were thinking, oh, we could maybe still go. It's a small venue, not that much exposure. And then Friday, I had another show, small show down in Philly. And I was like, well, that's too much exposure by moving. So I was like, I'm going to cancel the show in Philly. And then I had tickets for this upcoming Friday, so it was a little over a week away for Billie Eilish, which is down at Barclays. It was like almost 20,000 people, sold out show. And I was like, yeah, that's too much. So I canceled. Actually sold those tickets, and then an hour later they ended up getting postponed. So I sold them. Something 2 weeks ago I could have made $120 on for the sold out show because it was a hot ticket. I sold it $40 under face value, and somebody's going to get to use them. So is what it is. So, but yeah. Then the other thing I was debating is going to opening day with my daughter for the Yankees. And obviously, it's very, very quickly, I think it all went down on Thursday, where all of a sudden all the NBA, MLB, the NHL, all the concerts, everything really out through the end of March at first was canceled. Now you're seeing stuff being canceled all the way out into May. Like, for instance, Waking Windows, which is a festival I was going to go to up in Burlington, Vermont, just now came out and said that they're gonna cancel for the year. Totally the right thing to do. Still sucks though. I mean, kind of what I do for fun is basically go to Yankee games and go to concerts. And I'm like, geez, these are the two of the big things that have been impacted. Working from home has been okay. You can see I got a home office set up here. All my the concert posters and stuff set up. The dog likes it because she gets walked it. She gets to hang out with me all day, and I walk her at lunchtime. And normally she doesn't get that. And it's a little weird working from home, not being exposed to people as much. Like, I've had my team, we're using our webcams and to make sure that we're staying in touch. But for the most part, thank God it's 2020 and we can do this. We've got the ability to do a lot of things that I think back to, like the 1918 Spanish flu. You were in your house. There wasn't like, let me FaceTime my daughter and talk about stuff. It was just, once you were isolated, you were really isolated. But it's still an adjustment. Interesting to see the progression my daughter's taken to. She's 23, lives up in Burlington. Her initial response was, woohoo, airfare is really cheap. And she was getting ready to travel all over the place. And I was like, whoa, slow your roll there. This is not a good idea. And gradually she came around, especially when she talked to her mother, who was a nurse, about like, okay, this is a serious deal. Because I think a lot of young people still think, it's no risk to me. It's no worse than the regular flu. And it's becoming apparent that it really is. So she's since stocked up her apartment and is putting money aside just because, she's a bartender in addition to going to school. So she's been impacted somewhat. Luckily, she's been smart about putting money aside. But she's going to be okay there. But she's stocked up food in her apartment. She's been restricting her travel and staying at home. And it's funny, even after 2 days, she's like, Dad, I'm so bored. It just shows what an adjustment it is. So another interesting thing has been all the online streaming concerts. So who was the first that did it? Ron Gallo did one 2 nights ago. Last night, Frank Turner did one with Micah Schnabno and his wife Jess Guys out of his apartment, his flat in London. And then the Dropkick Murphys did their St. Patrick's Day celebration or the regular St. Patrick's Day show and just streamed it live, which was kind of cool to watch. So that's been at least helping me get my fix of that. So, but anyways, I figure I'll keep doing this. Like I said, this is day 3 of working from home. Not too bad so far. It's still weird. Luckily, I'm a happily divorced single guy who lives in a house by himself anyway, so it's not that big of a deal for me to make this jump. It's just that I'm used to going to probably a couple shows a week, and I'm pretty social, so I'd normally be meeting folks for dinner or drinks, etc. And then once the Yankee games come around, usually on the weekends I'd be going down to the Bronx. So, but I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll link these all together as much from honestly as a record for myself, because this is very unique. I mean, I'm 49. I've never been through anything like this. So I don't want to make a record of it, and I'll link it together, maybe throw it out on YouTube. I don't know if anybody else will give a shit about watching it, but at least it'll be there as a record for me. So if anybody is watching, I hope you're doing well. And I'm sure everybody's having their own challenges with this, and it's scary, especially for those who are really at risk health-wise, and you're seeing thousands and thousands of deaths, which are really unfortunate. And what's frustrating is so much of this, at least in the U.S., we could have prepared and responded better to this. I'm really extremely disappointed. I'm not a Trump fan to begin with, but as far as his reaction, literally, I think it's cost thousands of people their lives and possibly their livelihoods because of him poo-pooing this and refusing to take it seriously and not getting more prepared for it when we had time to do it. So anyway, on that note, maybe I'll do something later today. Maybe I won't. We'll see. Like I was saying, it's nice to be able to take the pup out for a walk. She really likes it. There's Sammy walking through the neighborhood. Just an absolutely gorgeous day. So this is definitely, if there's a silver lining to all this, it's being able to do stuff like this. So this is something I found that's kind of cool. I saw it on Facebook and actually shared it with my team, but the Georgia Aquarium is actually broadcasting live a feed from their tanks. So I actually sent this out to the team. Nothing more relaxed than watching fish, especially if you're cooped up in the house. So thought this was kind of neat. Hey, day 4. So far, the most eventful things that have happened is I spilled my coffee, and that kind of sucked. So that has changed my dynamic on my work from home, in that I ended up bringing a roll of paper towels up here to my office. So in case I do it again, which invariably I probably will do, depending on how long this goes, I don't have to just grab like Kleenexes and whatever the hell I need to try and clean it up. So that's freaking exciting. Other than that, the dog still psyched them home. Everybody seems to be going a little bit stir crazy, loving the fact that you're getting all sorts of broadcasts and stuff all over the place. But there's a lot of interesting stuff that people are doing. Like, for instance, Brian Koppelman, who's a podcaster and the producer writer of Rounders and the show Billions, is doing this thing called the Royale, which is basically post a picture and tag him in your first cup of coffee in the morning. And a family friend of mine, Bob Prees, actually I had seen it, but was doing that long before he did as well. So I did that. That's kind of neat. And actually, I think I'd put a stay positive thing tied to the Hold Steady up there, and Craig Finn liked the post, which was kind of cool. So, yeah, everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody's getting a bit stir crazy. My dog is funny because what ends up happening with her is she's in such a routine of I get up, I get dressed, or shower. I get up, I shower, I get dressed, and as I'm getting ready, she automatically, she's crated. She'd go into her crate like, okay, it's time to go. So she still goes into her crate and kind of looks at me like, okay, you're not leaving, and so she's still adapting to this new routine as well. But she's been either laying on the bed or hanging out here in the office with me. So that's it. World is continuing to evolve. They're talking about maybe shelter in place down in New York City. They've come out with 50% of businesses need to stay home, which my company's already doing. And I think this is going to be working from home for the long haul. And we'll see. The other kind of unique thing is I haven't driven my car since Monday. I think about that. I don't think, maybe there's some weekends, maybe I just kind of hunker down and wouldn't go anywhere. But I don't think I've gone this long without driving my car unless I was traveling or something. I drove it to work and back on Monday in the morning to get ready for this. And every day since I've been home, I did make a run up to the convenience store to get milk and bread, but that's a walking distance for me. So I was like, screw it, let me just walk up there, get some exercise in. So part of my routine, I might actually need to add to start my car on a regular basis. But I'm guessing I'll probably end up having to run out at least once a week to get some basic supplies. So depending on how long this goes. So. Anyways, I'll put another update together. I don't even know what I'll do with this, if I'll post it after a week or something like that, or just, like I said, do it for myself. All right, bye. There's Sammy enjoying being home with the crate in the background. Here's the Royale post I was talking about from Brian Koppelman and me drinking my first cup of coffee in the morning. Setting up my home printer since I might be working from home for a while. Lunchtime walk. We've got the trees starting to bud. There's my house. And there's Sammy. Another place where the coronavirus is having a real impact is on live music. And that's one of the things I love to do is go see shows. Like, I'm a big Foo Fighters fan, and I'll typically see 2 or 3 shows a week, usually smaller shows at small venues. The Foos I've seen well over a dozen times. But all these shows have been canceled because out of necessity with social distancing. And so that's something I miss out on my schedule too. It's just part of my social aspect is going out and catching these shows. So, for example, everything circled in red are shows that I would have been seeing in March that have been canceled. In particular, I'm bummed to miss the Murder Capital. Was going to see Billie Eilish Friday. But what you're seeing, and kind of a neat phenomenon, is these artists are now, they're stuck at home too. So what you're seeing is them playing live shows and then streaming them. So I saw Frank Turner did a great one on St. Patrick's Day. So did the Dropkick Murphys, and there's sites that are tracking this, so you can go see it. So, for instance, here's Pedro the Lion, and you just pop it up, and it's not the same as being there, but it's still nice. Another lifesaver for me musically is my local independent radio station, WEQX, out of Vermont, just across the border. Those guys are great, always playing great music. They've got an app you can listen to it on, or else I listen through my Amazon Echo. So they've always been important to me, even more so now, and kudos to them. Dinner time walk while listening to a podcast with Ryan Rucco and CC Sabathia. Good morning, day 5, Friday the 20th of March. Still working from home. I'm kind of frustrated right now. My laptop keeps locking up, even though the IT guys they're working their tails off trying to keep everybody that's working remote up and running. They had me download some drivers, but at the same time, I either get the blue screen of death, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a day, and now in the middle of working on something, it just locks up, and I have to do a hard reboot to get it to start again. So, like I was the other day, I was praising the technology that we have, so we're fortunate to have it, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword that it drives me fucking crazy. So, and learning, it reminds me back to college, which oddly enough, I came into college, actually with long writing papers and typewriters and stuff like that, and word processors. And by the time I graduated in '92, it was computer labs and stuff. But I remember in the computer labs that they had save and save often signs all over the place, and you could tell when somebody lost a ton of work, because all of a sudden somebody would freak out and be like, "Oh, they just did like 2 hours worth of work and didn't save it and lost everything." So. Anyways, it's Friday. Weird thing is here, it's like, okay, so the weekend will just mean I won't be in here on my laptop doing work. It won't be a ton different. So we'll see. Chugging along. Fucking rebooting again. Fucking thing. I really love coffee. So getting ready to make a run into the grocery store. We'll see how this goes. Words getting around that maybe there's going to be a 1 week shut down nationwide with everything being shut down. So I need a couple of things. I'm pretty well stocked, but I want to see if I can get a couple of things. We'll see how crazy it is in there. Here you can see what the shelves look like inside. Not as bad as it was a week ago, and they've instituted some stuff to prevent people from buying 10 of something or anything like that. So overall, not too bad. All in all, not too bad. They were out of chicken breasts, but they actually had chicken wings if I wanted to make those, but I've already got some. And got some milk, some bread, you know, kind of the basic stuff. They had a lot of signs as far as saying, hey, only 2 per customer. I got a couple of steaks because I've already got a bunch of chicken at home. So, like I said, I'm in pretty good shape, but wasn't that crazy. Of course, it's also the middle of the day, so I didn't have any meetings from like 11:30 on, so I'm coming probably before the rush. I'll stop and get some milk at the local grocery or the local convenience store on the way home, but wasn't very busy. You know, you could tell all the cashiers and stuff were just wore out. And thankfully, people were being friendly and nice. When I was in here a week ago, it was pretty crazy, and it was almost that like Thanksgiving rush type of stress and anxiety you could feel in the air, that people were just stressed the hell out. So I've actually got a friend that hit me up, and she was telling me last night, I'm out of toilet paper. And I'm like, look, I've got some, come over the house. I told the neighbors the same thing. I've got, you know, because I'm fortunate enough that I do have some extra. I'm not, oh, good Lord, I don't want to be a hoarder. It's a good way to get strung up. But you know, hopefully everybody's coming together and helping everybody else out. Crises like these bring out the best or the worst of people, and I want to be one of the guys that hopefully brings out the best. So we'll see. Oh, here's a peek at my freezer. It looks like it's all pizza, but I've actually got a bunch of meat, chicken breasts and salmon and stuff like that, wrapped in butcher paper and frozen in there. So I'm good to go for a bunch of meals. In addition to, if you look at my cupboard over here, you know, pretty stocked with vegetables and soups and, you know, peanut butter, and I got jelly and stuff. So your basic shit, you know, oils, flour, sugar, fresh pineapple with some Coke, bread, plenty of milk. So in general, I'm in pretty good shape. All right, so that's the end of the first week. It's a little after 5 on Friday. I'm actually having a beer, sitting in my man cave in my $2 chair. That's a story I'll tell another time. But crazy week, really scary times. Kind of, yeah, I think I've adjusted to it. But one of the things that was becoming apparent today was the financial impact. And heard from quite a few people about, hey, I just got laid off, or my husband just got laid off. I spoke to my daughter. She's got friends that are impacted. Luckily, she's in fairly good shape right now, and I hope it stays that way. I worry. I'm not sure she quite understands the gravity of this, and that might be good or bad. One of the things I've been wrestling with is I watch the news, and I need to watch it less. I'm trying to scale back on it because I just get pissed off or worked up about stupid shit that's being done, stupid shit that people are doing or not doing. And, you know, there's only so much. It's just feeding my anxiety and my angst, one of the, you know, either or, and that's not healthy either. So, tough times out there. Everybody hang together, do the best you can, help each other out. I know I'd mentioned I got a friend of mine's coming over to grab toilet paper. I'm seeing stuff that small businesses are doing for each other, and just I'm talking to teachers about how they're struggling to make sure and going above and beyond, trying to make sure that they're educating their kids, and what the school districts are doing about sending out, making sure they're sending out meals that kids are fed, because a lot of kids rely on the food they get at school. If they don't have that, they might not eat, and especially in these tough times. So I think we got a lot of tough times together that are going to be coming down the road, and we got to work together to make sure that we get through it. So anyway, I guess I'll post this. We'll see what people think about it. Like I said, I'm mostly kind of doing it as a log for myself. Tonight I'll probably hunker down and listen to some vinyl, probably watch some movies and stuff. It'll be a little weird, I mean, because it's like, okay, I'm still in the house, I'm just not on my laptop working. But really kind of missing that, being able to go out and stuff. I know that's a small thing compared to what other people are dealing with. But anyway, be well. Hopefully, at least you get a chance to see, hey, this is how one fat bald Irishman is dealing with it in upstate New York, and and probably similar to what a lot of other folks are doing, and maybe different in other ways. So, good night.